Now that the World Cup is over, I'm going to jump straight into my early Premier League predictions. I don't think we've ever had a season where literally the top 5 teams, I think it is, all have new managers. Man City, Man United, Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea have all changed manager, and Liverpool have all changed manager. This season must have the most managerial changes in any Premier League season ever to start it off. It must be. It's got to be. So we're going to go straight in to my early Premier League predictions. The date is the 26th of July 2026. Long wait in the transfer window to go. I'll be waiting until the first game of the season to do my final Premier League predictions, but these are mine way too early, and we'll see at the end of the season how many of these I can get right. I'm going to start off in the relegation zone. We're going to go from number 20 all the way through till number 1 and see who my winner of the Premier League is. Although I think the relegation zone's probably the more interesting because there's about 8 or 9 teams who genuinely could go down. In 20th, I think everyone's predicting this. It's going to be Hull City. Now, I genuinely think Hull City are going to be one of the worst teams in Premier League history, if not the worst team in Premier League history. They're going to get absolutely humped week after week after week. I think it's going to be about between 6 and 9 points, and they're going to go down maybe 1 or 2 wins. I've said that as a Newcastle fan. It's going to be 2 wins. They're both going to be against Newcastle, and then they're going to get relegated as the worst team in Premier League history, just like Derby County did when they got relegated. They took 4 points off Newcastle, and they're the worst team in Premier League history. But if you checked it, we are the only team, I think, that lost to them that season, typically. Moving on to number 19. This one might be a bit of a surprise. I'm going to put in Leeds United as number 19. And that might be a bit of a surprise to people with the Red Bull backing, but I think last season there was already a few things with Daniel Farke kicking up a fuss, stirring the pot. That combined with the fact that their team isn't really that good, I think they're going to struggle this season. I think they're just going to plummet. And I think they're going to go down, and I think they're going to finish in 19th. I don't even think it's going to be an 18th place finish. I think they're really going to fall off, and they're going to finish in 19th. It's going to be one of those seasons where you wonder how the hell they've gone down. Now, in 18th, I am going to go for... Again, this might come as a bit of a shock that I've not put in one of the other teams that got promoted to go down, because I think most people will probably say that this is one of those seasons where the 3 up are the 3 that go down. I think a lot of people are going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Obviously, with Leeds going down, I am going to say that 2 of them go down, though, and that one that is going to go down, I think the other one's going to be Ipswich. I think it's going to be Hull, Leeds, and Ipswich that go down. I think this is going to be a really tough relegation battle. I think there's only going to be a couple points in it, but I really do think Ipswich are going to go down. I think they're going to go down. I think they'll have a better showing than they did last time in the Premier League. I think they'll be a lot better defensively than last time in the Premier League, but I still don't think that they've got enough to stay up. I think they're going to become the new Norwich. I think they're going to be up and down season after season, an absolute yo-yo club, and it'll be good for them. I think they'll have the excitement of the final day going into it with a bit of belief, a bit of hope. They might even be outside the relegation zone on the final day, but I do think that the Ipswich are going to get relegated. I really do. I just don't see them staying up ahead of the teams that I have above them. Now in 17th, just staying up by the skin of their teeth, I have got Frank Lampard's Coventry. Now the main reason I actually have these is because I genuinely think Frank Lampard is a good Premier League level manager. I think between them and Ipswich in 18th, I genuinely think there's going to be maybe a point in it, 2 points in it. It's going to be so tight, go right down to the final day. Now, I am a Newcastle fan. Tried not to be biased, but I am going to put Sunderland all the way down in 16th. I think Europe's really going to affect them. I think they're going to have a torrid time in the Premier League, although I think they'll do all right in Europe. Don't think there'll be a major threat of relegation there, but I think their focus being put between the two, Europe and the Premier League, I think it's really going to hurt them. I don't think they've got a deep enough squad to deal with it. So I think a bit like Nottingham Forest, I think it's going to hurt them and they're going to drop off. Now in 15th, a team who actually battered Newcastle on the final day is Fulham. They've lost Marco Silva. They've lost their best 2 forward players. I just think it's going to be a bit of a nothing season. I think Fulham are still a good enough Premier League team. I just think it's going to be like a bit of a nothing season. Nothing's really going to, it's Fulham. I don't know what to say here. Moving on, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are going to do what Crystal Palace do. It's going to be 14th. It's going to be somewhere in the 50 points. There's nothing much more to say. Now in 13th, I have got Nottingham Forest. This one I struggled with a lot because I genuinely thought with Forest, I was thinking there's a good chance they're right down there, stuck in the mud, having a tough season again. especially with the fact that they've lost their best player and they're getting. I think it's a new manager. I'm sure that Portuguese guy's left now, so I think it's a new manager. But the fact that they've got a new manager, they've got Elliot Anderson's now gone. I could really see them struggling because how do you replace a player of that quality? But I do think they'll probably improve. They always make quite good signings. They're always quite astute in the transfer window. I think that they're going to finish 13th. Again, no real threat of relegation, no real push for Europe. Just a mixed bag of results, I think. We're going to move on to 12th. In 12th, I've got Brentford. Brentford, I literally know nothing about their transfer window. I know nothing about their manager, really, from last season. He's good at throw-ins. He's good at set pieces. I wouldn't be surprised, I'll say this now, I would not be surprised to see Brentford genuinely go down. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think last season could have been a fluke. The fact that Igor Thiago scored, I think it was like 21 goals. That could be just a complete one-off, one-season wonder, and they could quite easily finish in the relegation zones or there or thereabouts. Now, moving on to the last team in the bottom half of the table, I have Bournemouth. Bournemouth, again, I feel this with the whole bottom half, genuinely, any of these teams could go down. I wouldn't feel safe for any of the bottom teams. Like, if Palace were to be in the relegation zone, would you really be surprised with a change of manager? You probably wouldn't. Any team in that bottom half could genuinely go down. I am going to drop Everton in there. Now, the reason I'm going to drop Everton in there is because David Moyes, I think David Moyes gets sacked. I think he gets sacked early. I think they have a really poor start to the season. I think you could see them in the relegation zone after the first 5 games, or low down at least after the first 5 games. And I think David Moyes is going to get the sack. I think he's going to go in about maybe October, November time. And I think once he gets sacked, they'll bring in, to go alongside their new stadium, they will bring in some swanky name from Europe, and he will propel Everton up the league. And I think he'll finish them at about 10th. Pushing for Europe, but maybe just not quite having enough because of the bad start. Still a good season for Everton 10th, I would say. Still a good season. Now in ninth, I mean, I'm going to put Brighton. They're always around 6th, 7th, 8th. They're always competing for the Europa League, and I think they're going to do the same again. I just think they'll not have enough because they're too inconsistent. I could genuinely see Brighton pushing up the league, going down the league. I don't ever really know what's going to happen with Brighton. It feels like one week they're beating Chelsea, the next week they're losing to Newcastle. I have no idea what's going on with Brighton. I'm just going to put them in the top half because I just think they're always so good. And they always sign someone from like the back horse of the Colombian 3rd division who's just unbelievable. This is what Brighton do, and they're going to have another one this season who's going to come into the limelight, probably get signed by someone for about 40-50 million next summer, and they're going to have a great half a season. And I think Brighton are going to finish in 9th. I think they're just good enough. They always have quality all over the pitch. They've got a really solid team. The only thing with Brighton I could see really hurting them is the fact that I think Welbeck is going to drop off massively this year. He is going to fall off an absolute. I think he got like 15 goals last year. There's no way he gets more than 5. He's going to fall off an absolute cliff this year. He's too old. His legs will be gone, and that is my one prediction for Brighton is that Danny Welbeck will not get more than 5 goals. Now in 7th, didn't know this, I am actually a Newcastle fan, and I'm going to put us in 8th. Now this actually, judging by last season, would be a good season. Eddie Howe, I think, is our main issue at the minute. I have been on this boy for about 2 years now, even pre-cup win. Now, felt like he proved us wrong in the cup win. I let him off for a bit, and he's just proved everything I initially thought correct. I like the guy. He's just a one-trick pony. And I've seen it too much now. I've seen the same game plan not work repeatedly too much. Now, pre-season, I've seen our first game, I think it was, against Gateshead, that fucking Jacob Murphy was captain, which just fills me with a whole lot of feelings that I love Jacob Murphy, but why the hell is he captain? I have no idea. He shouldn't be the man leading us out there because he ain't playing week after week, and if he is, what the fuck are we doing? But yeah, I'm going to put us 8th. I'm going to be hopeful for this season and put us 8th. I would not be surprised to see us down there if we lose Bruno. That would make me upset, but if we lose Bruno, I don't know what to think of our season if we lose Bruno Guimaraes. I really don't. If we lose that boy, relegation could genuinely be a thing, which is scary to even think of. But I'm hoping we'll have enough to finish 8th because 1 game a week, Eddie Howe style of play, the way he presses, hopefully they can bring an intensity that they had about 3 years ago under Howe. Hopefully they bring that intensity, or just the intensity we see every time we play a big team. Every time we play a big team, we seem to just turn up really intense. The passes are usually quite slick. We usually just play really well, but then we go away to Bournemouth and can't fucking press the. I don't really get it. There's no intensity there. It's awful. I would hope for Conference League or Europa League, But yeah, I think we'll finish 8th. I don't think we'll get either. I think we'll finish 8th. Now in 7, this one might come as a surprise, but hopefully not with the recent news of the Rodgers transfer. I am going to put Aston Villa in 7th. I still think the manager is going to make the difference to keep them up into 7th. I also think with losing the quality of Morgan Rodgers and Yuri Tielemans, I think they're going to struggle with that. I do think the signings that they're making are quite good. That bloke that I can't remember his Manzambi, I think it was, that Newcastle were after. I think he's going to be a top signing for them, but I think they're going to drop off. I think the teams above them, Chelsea and Spurs, for example, have one game a week. That should make them instantly finish above Aston Villa because they've got a better team and one game a week. And then the other teams above them just have so much depth. I mean, Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Arsenal, there's just so much depth in those teams. I also think they'll finish above them. So for Villa, it's not necessarily that I think Villa are going to have a bad season. I just think the teams above them are going to do a lot better just because of the way the league is set up this year and the fact that they've got Champions League. Now, in 6th, I am actually going to leave it as it is and leave Tottenham Hotspur in 6th. The signings they made, they've spent about 250 million after nearly being relegated, not getting Champions League football. How the fuck they're doing this, we have no idea. I'm genuinely like, we can't, as a Newcastle fan, I'm like, we can't afford to spend like 30, 40, 50 million without selling, Tonali for 100 million and Gordon for 80 million. And yet, Tottenham Hotspur, who've just nearly been relegated. This is after a season in the Champions League, and Tottenham Hotspur, who've nearly been relegated, can go and spunk £280 million at a transfer window without even fucking batting an eyelid. Like, how much are those Beyonce concerts paying? Genuinely, this is ridiculous, the fact that they're able to do this. Actually, spoiler alert, putting Chelsea 5th. Putting Chelsea 5th, again, one game a week. Their squad is just stacked. I mean, Rodgers and Palmer just don't even, that's just ridiculous. And then the Xabi Alonso effect. I think Chelsea are going to have a good season. Just pip Spurs to the Champions League. And generally the main reason I think that is because I've watched so many seasons of Premier League football and Chelsea are always better than Spurs. It's like the rule of the Premier League. More than anything, you could say Manchester's red, Manchester's blue. Mate, London, not even London, but Chelsea are just better than Spurs. They always are. They always will be. Every time Spurs think they're better, Chelsea will pip them. It happens every single time. It is the rule of the Premier League. Chelsea will finish ahead of Spurs. Now moving on to the big four. Champions League, you can see the 4 that are in there now are the 4 I think again next season will be the top 4. Now this order isn't necessarily the way I think it'll happen, but I do think that this will be the top 4 next season. I think all of them have such a strong starting 11 and they've all got strength and depth. The one team who might drop out is who I'm going to put 4th. I think the top 3 are actually just settled. I don't think there's a hope in hell any of them drop out. Genuinely, I think 4th, there's a chance do. I think Man United could drop out, purely because I don't think Bruno Fernandes is going to put up those numbers again. They're once in a career numbers. He won't do that again. He will drop off a bit, and that drop off could be the difference between them finishing 4th and 6th. I'm going to put Liverpool in 3rd in the Premier League because I think they're just going to have a good season. They're going to be up there. They're going to be competing. They might drop off a little bit towards the end, but they're going to be up there. They're going to be in the top 3. Moving on to the top 2. Now, the way I am going to put it, which might be a bit of a surprise, is that I'm going to put Man City above Arsenal. I think the reason this is going to happen is because at the end of the day, Man City are Man City. Man City will do what Man City always do. They're going to come back. They're going to spend, as they've done on Anderson, 200 odd million, 300 million, whatever they need to win the league is what they will spend. I think Arsenal's still a great season. It's going to be very similar to the seasons that they've lost it at the end towards Man City. But again, I could see Arsenal winning it. I could see Man City winning it. I could even see Liverpool winning it. But I'm going to go with Man City because Man City are Man City. That's who this is in their DNA now. This is what they are. This is what they do. If they lose a league title, they spend 200 million, 300, whatever they need, they spend till they get there. They buy the best players. They bring them in. They've got Maresca, who I think isn't that dissimilar from Pep, the style of play. And I genuinely think most decent to good managers, I mean, Maresca had Chelsea top of the league for a period of time before he was sacked. He had them top of the league for a little while. So I think Man City again, I think they're going to go week in, week out pummeling teams, beating them quite comfortably, 2-0, 3-0. I just do not see Arsenal winning it back to back. Yeah, I think Man City are going to win the league. Again, that's like the 8th time in 10 years or something. But yeah, I think Man City are going to win the league. And I'll be very surprised if they don't. Thank you for watching the video. It's been Swipe. Please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and please tune in for the next one. I will be doing my up-to-date Premier League predictions in a couple of weeks, which is towards the end of the window. These are just the early ones before the transfer window ends, before any more massive signings happen, straight after the World Cup. So yeah, if you like the video, please share, please subscribe, and peace.